A very happy morning to all of you students. Students, we have started with our chapters sorting materials into groups, and today we are going to do the third part of the chapter. In the previous lecture, we have done many ways by which we can classify the elements into different groups. Like we have done transparency, we have done luster, we have done state, and then on the mode of material used. So in so many ways we can classify the material around us. Now in this class also we will discuss some more ways by which we can categorize the elements around us in different groups. We have also done that grouping of elements is needed in order to make the study of the elements easy and to save our time so that we can find out the things easily. Right? So the criteria that we are going to start today is solubility. What is solubility? Solubility is the ability of a solute to get dissolved in a solvent. Now to understand this, firstly you should know what is solute and what is solvent. Solute is the substance that you add, and solvent the substance in which addition takes place. Like if you make a sugar syrup, then sugar acts as your solute and water acts as your solvent. So if the solute gets dissolved in the solvent completely, then we will categorize it as miscible liquids, okay, or miscible substances. But if it doesn't get dissolved, like sand doesn't get dissolved in water, right? So we will say that sand is immiscible in water. So we can have two categories: miscible substances and immiscible substances. Then the next is flotation. Flotation is the property of any substance to float on another liquid. To float on a liquid, that is the property of flotation. Okay, now this flotation, it depends on the density, right? Like you know that water, and these are the ice cubes, that ice cubes can float on water. Why? Because ice has lower density than water. Okay, जो आइस है उसकी डेंसिटी वाटर से कम होती है. वाटर हैज हाई डेंसिटी, सो अ सब्सटेंस with low density can float on a substance with high density. Fine. So in this way you can see that whether the substance can float or not. Fine. Like a paper will float on water. Fine. But if there is a bundle of papers, then it will sink in the water. Okay. Then you can say stone. Stone is heavy. It has higher density, so that's why it can't float on water. In the same way, like leaves, you say leaves have lower density, so that's why they can float on water. Fine, students. So in this way you can also just group together the substances around you in two groups, like the substances which can float and the substances which cannot float. Then the next property is conduction of heat, like whether the substance can conduct heat or not. Conduct heat का मतलब क्या होता है? Conduct heat का मतलब है कि if one end of the object is hot, then the other end will be hot or not. Fine. Like in the common life, yes, the handles of the cooking utensils, if they are made up of wood, then your utensil will be hot, but the handle will be cold, and you can just carry the utensil very easily. It is because the wood is not a conductor of heat. It do not conduct heat. It do not carry heat from one part to another. Conduction means carrying the thing from one end to another end. Okay, students. So on the basis of this also, you can divide the substances around you in conductors and insulators. Fine. Now the next is conductors of electricity. This is very much common thing, like which substances can conduct electricity and which cannot. Like rubber, wood, these cannot conduct electricity. But if you talk about metals like copper, iron, silver, these can conduct electricity. So they are conductors, and which cannot, they are known as insulators. There is one more thing which I have written, that is semiconductors. But semiconductors are the substances which are otherwise insulators, but under special conditions they can conduct electricity. Okay, means they are not always insulators. Fine. Then the next is magnetic properties. Magnetic properties means the substance which can be attracted by the magnet or not. Fine. And on its basis we can categorize the elements into two groups, that is magnetic and non-magnetic. The substances which can be attracted by the magnet are known as magnetic, and which cannot be attracted by the magnet are known as non-magnetic. Okay, students. So these are the different ways by which we can categorize the substances around us in different groups. Okay, students? So this was the whole chapter in which we have done that how we can just group together the substances around us in variable groups depending on their properties. The properties, we can group the elements together on the basis of similarity in the properties or on the basis of difference in their properties. So similarity and differences in the properties both can be used as a criteria for grouping together the substances. Okay, students, so I hope the concept of sorting materials into groups is very much clear to you all. Thank you. Have a nice day.